What is good, you guys? Welcome back to another Invincible Guardians of the Globe. And thanks to this comment right here from my main man right here, he asked me, could I do a video explaining equipment? And I at first didn't know what he meant by it. But then we spoke a little bit more, and I got more clarification on what he meant. When he meant equipment, he meant this. He meant gear. So we're going to do a little quick video breaking this down for him and explaining it to the best of my ability. First things first, let's talk about where you can get equipment from. Best way to get equipment is definitely going to be from your equipment shop, obviously in the name. You can get up to Omnipotent gear here, right here, as you see. You can get Omnipotent Plus gear, but this all comes down to which level your shop is. So if you're at level 1, you're going to see pretty much green gear only. Level 2, you're finally introduced very early on to blue and elite gear. Now you get to level 4, you're introduced to exceptional and epic gear. Level 5, you're introduced to legendary plus. Level 6, you're still at the same legendary plus status of gear. Level 7, you finally get introduced to seismic gear. Now, don't get it mistaken. This is not seismic plus. Level 8, you get introduced to seismic plus gear. Level 9, you're still at seismic, and then level 10, you're still at seismic. Level 11, you're still at seismic. Level 12 is where you finally get introduced to omnipotent gear. This is omnipotent, not omnipotent plus. Level 13, still omnipotent. Level 14, still omnipotent. Level 15 is when you finally get introduced to level omnipotent plus gear. So for most people, you're probably going to be somewhere around that level, anywhere I want to say level 8 to maybe level 10. And if you're between there, seismic plus gear is not bad. Now, the thing with gear is you really don't want to invest too much into gear early on. So, like, you don't want to invest a lot into purple gear or legendary gear or stuff like that. You're usually, for the most part, like, I usually leave the gear at level 1. Especially because I'm so high leveled in the shop, that I'm at the legendary that only have to only boost legendary omnipotent gear only. I'm at a point that I only level up omnipotent plus gear. But I will say this much: if you have seismic gear, if you have seismic gear seismic plus gear, it is worth it to level it up. There at that point, if you're at that point that you're getting seismic plus gear in a frequent stage, even if you're like in the lower area level, like at level 6 or 8, and you're getting a good enough amount of seismic gear that you can have pretty much your whole team with seismic gear on, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. You want to obviously increase your shop level because you'll get more chances of getting better stuff, but it's definitely worth it. So that's the best place you're going to get that type of gear. The only other place you're ever going to really get gear is going to be from this mission right here, this GDA op. Now, I don't have this GDA op very high leveled. I only have it at level 6. But as you see here, I'm getting a ton of free gear. I'm going to be getting some purple gear, some blue gear, some green gear. And that's how you pretty much will want to get some gear to level up your gear that you're using. That's basically like looking at it as getting some food for your heroes. That's basically getting some scrap gear for your good gear. And another good way to get gear is by being in a very good alliance. If you have a very good alliance, as you see here, I'm earning a ton of gear. I'm earning I'm earning a total of 10 seismic pieces of gear. I'm earning, I don't even know, 50 pieces of epic gear. I'm earning about 10 pieces, maybe 16 pieces in total of pink gear. I'm earning about, maybe about 15 pieces of legendary gear. So I'm earning a good amount of gear from being in this alliance. So that's another place to get some good gear, is definitely by being in a high tier, higher alliance. That definitely does help. And now, as far as it comes to ranking up gear, I'll start out with a lower tier gear set, with like I said, like a seismic Once again, this is still probably some of the highest gear you can get. Some people might be like, that's the lowest. That's the lowest for a higher level player, but it definitely is. Like if you have this gear, it's definitely not bad to invest into it and build it up. I'll say that much. It's definitely not bad or not worth building up. Now, if you go look at them, they all have different stats, as you see here. The best gear to always level up is always going to be depending on what you're trying to get for your character. So, for example, let's say Universa, right? For Universa, the main thing I want is critical damage. That's the main thing I'm focusing on for Universa is critical damage. So I'm going to look at these. What does this one give me? This one gives me energy attack damage, which is very important because she's an energy attacker, and critical chance, which is another important thing. So I'm looking at boots like, maybe boots is something I want to level up. I look at leggings. Leggings is giving me a lot of health, a lot of attack, extra damage, extra critical chance. What is gloves give me? Gloves is giving me a lot of HP, a lot of attack, extra critical chance, and extra energy defense. Look at chest piece is giving me a lot of health, a lot of defense, physical attack, and then physical defense. So I'm not really worried about the chest piece because we don't really need to worry about her having physical attack because none of her attacks are physical. So the two that I think by looking at this that I'm going to focus on because for her playstyle, she relies heavily on energy attack, she relies heavily on her crits, and she relies on her attacking power. I'm going to focus on leveling up this piece of gear for her. And now if I level this up and I get it all the way to level 10, we're looking at a 3,000 jump in HP. We're looking at a 2,200 jump in attack power. We're looking at a 1.5% jump in critical chance, and we're looking at a 5.2% jump. I mean, a 1.2% jump in energy defense. Her energy attack power does not increase. So that sucks when you look at it. You're like, that's not the best. So then what you can do before you decide to do it is come over here, which we said the leggings was the second best option because it gave us 6% critical chance and 8% extra attack, 8,000 extra attack. And we can come over here, we can just get that to level 10 and see what it does. So now this one's going to give me actually in critical chance increase by 7. It's going to do the damage. So it's pretty much the same way. Then we come to here, which we see this has the most attack power and the most critical chance. So we could do the same thing here, and we now decide which one do we want to go with. And from looking at it, after paying attention to all the stats, I think the booties, I think are the best one to go for. Because we're going to get the most amount of crit chance, the most amount of attack boost. We're also getting energy defense, and we're getting the most amount of health out of this. So if I'm going to boost any of these up, I think my best bet is to go with the boots. Now, I will say, as you see here, look at how much it invests. This is how much it's investing in me leveling up that gear. That's how much we just used just to level up that gear 3 pieces. Just to level that gear up by 3 levels. Look at how much we waste of gear. Look how much gear we waste. So that's the one thing you have to pay attention to when upgrading gear, is how much do you really need to upgrade it. As you see, that's at level 7 Omnipotent Plus gear. So obviously it takes a lot more gear to level it up. But let's go down to something like this piece right here, which is a level 1 Omnipotent gear, not even Omnipotent Plus. As you see here, once again, it's more of the same. This one gives physical attack, and physical defense, regular defense, attack power, HP. And if I want to boost it, as you see, it's still a very high investment on boosting. Look at how much it's using just to boost this thing 1 level. I do 2 levels, it's boosting, so it's taking so much. So when it comes to this, you definitely want to make sure you're using your resources the right way. And that's the main thing I will tell you. And like I said, the only time I will ever consider even leveling up gear is only when it is Seismic Plus, Omnipotent, and Omnipotent Plus. If it is not any of those 3, it's honestly no point to level it up. There's no point. And then once again, each piece has different stats, so you have to pay attention to the stats. Like, so once again, for example, Universa, I'm really focusing on critical damage, I'm focusing on energy attack power, I'm focusing on extra attack power, and I'm focusing on critical chance. For Conquest, I'm focusing on HP, defense, and attack power. For Allen, I'm focusing on HP and defense, and maybe physical resistance. For Armored Adam Eve, I'm focusing on physical resistance, physical attack, defense, HP. For regular Adam Eve, more like Universa, focusing on energy attack. I'm focusing on attack power. I'm focusing on crits. I'm focusing on HP. I'm focusing on stuff like that. Those are the things you got to pay attention to when you're going to upgrade gear, so that way you're not just upgrading gear for just no reason. And another thing I'll say about gear is interchangeable. Gear also plays a factor for certain characters at a higher tier. For example, yes, having this level of gear on Anissa is, some people might be like, yeah, you're just doing that because you want your Anissa to have high stats and you want her to do a lot of damage. Not necessarily. The reason I put my best gear on Anissa isn't because Anissa is my best damage dealer. I put my best gear on Anissa because Anissa's best skill is this skill right here, and this skill here goes based off of her stats. The skill is based off of her own attack stats, which means I want to put things on her to give her the best, highest attack stat, so that way this ability gets its max amount of potential. But in a situation where maybe I'm not going to use my Anissa, in a situation that my Anissa isn't going to be on my team, then you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull that gear off of her and put it on the other person that needs it because they need the better stats at the moment. That's one thing that I definitely will recommend in the moments that you are swapping out characters and changing in out characters. For example, I will show my main team that I use for Arena. My main team I use for Arena is right here. This is my main team. And in this situation, they do have a human, so I will like to use my Anissa. But let's just say that blue suit mark wasn't there and they had, let's just say, a Universa there. There's no human on that team. So maybe I decide, you know what, there's no human on that team, so I'm going to pull my Anissa out and I'm going to use my Allen. Because there's no point to having Anissa because there is no human. But I can't swap my Anissa's attack armor for Allen because he's a tank. So then let's say maybe I decide, you know what, let me use my Viltrumite Nolan. So then now I can swap out the armor that I have on her and put it on him to make him stronger. Or maybe I use Space Wraith. But you get what I mean. Along the line, you can always swap in and out characters for better, smarter fights. Like I said, in this situation, it makes a lot of sense to use the Anissa because of the fact that there is a human on the team. But if there is no human, then there's no point to use the Anissa, which is why I would take the armor off her. I probably would throw it on my armor, I would probably throw the armor on my Universa so she could just do more damage, and then take the armor that I have on my Universa and probably throw that on somebody like throw that somebody on like my Omni-Man or somebody like my Space Racer, or maybe even my Thrag when I decide to finally build him. But you get my gist. But yes, so that's the little breakdown I have here for gear, and like I said, it's a very simple, very easy, quick guide. I hope this helped you, my boy. I hope I answered a question. And if you have any other further questions, or if anybody wants any videos customized to a question that they have, the same way he did it, comment down below in this video and ask me for a video idea that you need help or answers on. And I got you. If I can't answer it in the comments, I will make a video. But once again, no further ado. Appreciate you. I love you guys. I'm going to catch you on the next one. Please hit that subscribe button. And go check out my TikTok. Go check out my Twitch if you are on the YouTube side. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.